Okay, thank you for joining me. So, this is EV Unplugged, and this is my weekly podcast of EV news from around the world. This week it is the 5th of May 2025. It is a bank holiday in the UK. It is a Monday today. It kind of feels like a Sunday, but it is a Monday. I didn't get the opportunity to do the live broadcast yesterday because I had other things to do with family and friends, which took priority, unfortunately, but it does happen. So today we're going to do it on a Monday. Anyway, so coming up in this episode, we've got some news coming up regarding the Mercedes G-Wagon. We've got an investment from Rivian in America to try and get around Donald Trump's tariffs, possibly. We have got potential reoccurrence or redesign of the Ford Focus in an electric form. Love it or hate it. We've got the Deepal car, which I saw at the London show at the Excel for the Everything Electric, which is an amazing looking vehicle. And I have got a video of a famous British car reviewer, broadcaster, celebrity having a little bit of trouble with that car, and I will post it one day when I find the right video, but it's worth watching. What else have we got coming up? We got possible reintroduction of physical buttons in cars. Aston Martin, and finally BYD. So let's get on with the show. So I have got my printed notes. I do have them there, and I will go through them because I don't want to miss any other points. So first thing we're going to look at is the Mercedes G-Wagon. Okay, so this is a vehicle coming very, very soon. It's the 2025 model of the G580 with EQ technology, an electric version of its iconic G-Class SUV. Now, this has got a potential price tag of $151,000 or £180,000 in the UK. Now, the big thing here is it actually going to cost $151,000 when it gets to America? Because, as we've said before on this channel, with the tariffs that have been imposed by Donald Trump, these prices are going to go up. So when they're importing vehicles from Europe, there is a charge. I think it's at 10% at the moment. It is 7:30. It could have changed again in the next half an hour. I'm not 100% sure. But there are tariffs being imposed on vehicles going from Europe into America. So will it actually cost $151,000? It seems unlikely, if I'm being honest, unless Donald Trump changes his mind over them. The car itself is equipped with a 116 kilowatt battery, has 4 motors making it 4-wheel drive, and it only has a range of 285 miles. Now, my 54 kilowatt car gets about 200 at the moment on a good run. This is only 285, and it's kind of double the battery, but it is a very big vehicle, as you can see. It's it's a G-Wagon. It's designed for off-roading. It's designed for going places where normal vehicles won't go, and as you can see there, it's showing that it's got this ability to do intelligent crawl up vertical slopes or very steep slopes. It's got things like, it doesn't really give me much more details other than that, really. Intelligent crawl and 285 kilowatt miles range. That's all it seems to be giving me at the moment on this site. But it's a boxy vehicle. It's not one that I like myself, to be honest. It's a bit clunky. It's probably to some people's likings for those that do off-roading. It's not for me. It just looks a little bit too boxy. It looks very much like the British Land Rover. But would I have this over a Tesla? A Tesla Cybertruck? Hell yeah, of course I would. I do not want a Cyber Tesla truck, and on that, I think it might be a little bit late for them now. I believe that they have now stopped producing them through to too many faults anyway. But yeah, that's the new G-Wagon 580 coming to a Mercedes store near you soon. I'd say it's not the best looking vehicle, but I've definitely seen a lot worse. So, next on the list is Rivian. So Rivian are looking at investing $120 million or £96 million into a supplier park just outside Illinois in America. And they're looking to do this to basically get rid of the tariffs of transporting vehicles across the border into Canada and back. So they're actually looking at building something in Illinois to kind of mitigate those risks, those tariffs. This is exactly what Donald Trump wants to do. This is what he wants to do. He wants America to build these factories in America for American jobs so they don't go across the border to Canada. Now, 96 million, that's a fair wedge of money. I'm not sure in the grand scheme of things how much of a drop in the ocean that is, but it sounds a lot. 96 million, 120 million to invest in the park near Illinois. Aims to mitigate the costs of related tariffs and enhance production efficiency, and the park is expected to create hundreds of jobs and to support the up-and-coming R2 model production. Now, it's going to create hundreds of jobs, but are they going to be American jobs, or are they going to be people crossing the border? And, you know, I don't know. But anyway, it's what Donald Trump is trying to do, get these businesses to create their own factories within the confines of the UK border. Within the confines of the American borders. I don't know how it's going to go. It seems a lot of money. You just lower the tariffs and I don't know. Anyway, so it's to localize the supply chain, I guess, to make it a little bit more efficient. It's probably got efficiency driven in there as well. It's creating jobs. Anyway, I'm a bit bored of that one now. It's not a brand I'm that familiar with, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But anyway, one that I am familiar with though, and that is not the G-Wagon. I haven't got a picture of this yet. I did go looking, but nothing's been announced yet. But there is the potential that the Ford Fiesta is going to make a comeback as an electric vehicle. Now, this is really going to ruffle people's feathers, I suspect, because there are some real die-hard Ford Fiesta fans out there that would not like an EV model of it. But it's potentially coming. Its estimated cost is going to be between 25 and £30,000. That's 30 to 35 thousand US dollars. But there is this potential that it's going to come back and hit the high streets as a favourite of cars to try and potentially convert those that have always liked petrol engines and always been Ford fan. They're looking at potentially moving them over to an EV market. But it looks like it's a potential collaboration with Volkswagen, which is an interesting change. They're going to use Volkswagen, or they're going to have a partnership. They reckon it's going to have a 280-mile range using with a 125 kilowatt fast charge battery. 125 watt, kilowatt fast charge circuitry in there, so it'll charge up pretty quickly. So it's 280 kilowatts. At 280 miles, you're probably talking about 60 odd kilowatt battery to get that. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I did like the Ford Fiestas. I had the Focuses, but I did like the Fiestas. I'm not sure what it's going to do to the market because Ford tend to be a premium brand anyway. You always pay a little bit more for Fords than most other brands in the UK. But, you know, if it's going to entice people over to Fords and EVs rather, then yeah, I'm all for that. Okay, so the next one on my list is the one I wanted to show you. This is the Deepal S07. So this is a car that I looked at the Everything Electric show. It's a fantastic looking car. Again, it's another Chinese car. So we got BYD, we got MG, we got Deepal. There's lots of Chinese cars coming over at the moment. This is going to be between 18.5 and £21,000. That's 23 to 27,000 US dollars. Yeah, it's an SUV and it's just really nice. It does have the flappy out handles like the Teslas, which I wasn't a fan of when I saw it. But, you know, you can be forgiven for little things like that. But you get a lot of tech for your money in this vehicle. And this is the Auto Trader page, but it goes through, it's got, you know, starts off at 217 horsepower, 0 to 60 in less than 8 seconds. Now, my MG4 is only about 170 horsepower, and I did a 0 to 60, and I got it less than 8 seconds, about 7.2 seconds, I think it was. I've got it coming up in a video soon. So 217 horsepower. It should be less than, it should be more around the 5.5 seconds, 6 seconds, rather than 7. It comes in at about 295-mile range, which was fantastic. And people get too hung up on the mileage. What's the range of it? What's the range of it? Why? How many do you normally do in a day? You know, it ranges. I think people get too hung up on that one. Anyway, topic for a different video, I think there. Includes a 15-inch touchscreen, 14 speaker system, spacious interior, and they're expanding their markets into Thailand, Australia, and Singapore. But yeah, it's a very high-tech vehicle. It is really nice. It is definitely got BYD looks to it. It's definitely got BYD looks to this. Probably sharing technology with them. Possibly going to be, I don't think they're using them at the minute, but possibly potentially using the BYD Blade battery in here as well. But there's nothing in the description there that tells me anything about that one. So that's the Deepal S07 SUV. Like I say, very nice vehicle indeed. Okay, next on my list is automakers to reintroduce physical buttons for safety. I am a big fan of this. This is something that we need. Automakers are making a shift back to physical buttons in vehicles to reduce driver distraction. Euro NCAP to reward manufacturers for restoring physical controls with favourable safety ratings starting in January 2026. Studies show touchscreens impair driver reaction times more than alcohol and marijuana. I'd love to have seen the test group they used for that one. Anyway, they're looking at using these buttons to basically reduce people's distraction when they're using touchscreens. If you've ever driven a car like a Tesla, for instance, where literally everything is on the screen, it's extremely difficult to it's very, very difficult to see what you're doing and drive at the same time. So hopefully this is going to be a big thing going forward, that they're going to remove these touchscreens. Not necessarily remove the touchscreens, but some of the important buttons, like just like your radio controls or your fan controls. Just put it as a physical button. Don't put it as a touchscreen. We have to go through menus to find it. It just causes distraction, as the report says. So, real big fan of that. Really hoping that's going to come out sometime soon. Like I said, they're going to start giving them safety ratings as of January 2026. So that is good news. Next on my list is Aston Martin's delay. They are delaying their first EV car now to, it says, to the later part of the decade, so 2028, 2029 probably. The company plans to focus on plug-in hybrids in the interim. Oh, I just don't know why people have plug-in hybrids, why manufacturers are doing this. I just don't see the point of them. Nobody charges them. They just run it as a petrol car. Hybrids that are powered by the engine, absolutely fine. But EV cars that are plug-in hybrids, they are just running them as petrol. There's just no point. Just stop producing them. Get them to charge the battery from the actual from the actual car itself. It makes more sense. Even though the MPG is still pretty naff on a lot of them. Okay, what else is on here? But they are planning on cutting 170 jobs, which represents 5% of its global workforce. So yeah, so not good news for Aston Martins. But again, I guess it's the image of it. I really can't imagine James Bond driving an Aston Martin electric. As much as I like electric cars, I really can't see him driving one of those round. So it's a bit of an odd one, that is, as a manufacturer. But looks like now the government's delayed the mandatory building of EVs in the UK. Looks like Aston Martin have jumped on the back of that and have now decided that they're going to build them towards the end of this decade, like say 2028, 2029. Okay, last on my list then is BYD. So BYD, they're just never out of the news. They have now introduced 1,000 kilowatt fast charging system on their cars. It's part of its Super E platform. They can deliver approximately 400 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. That is absolutely astounding. And they sort of like these chargers. They're looking at deploying over 4,000 of them in China alone. This really does create a bit of a game changer when it comes to charging vehicles up on the go. One of the big problems that people complain about, where mostly non-EV drivers, but the one thing they do complain about quite often is that they're too slow. The 25, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to charge. This is going to be a game changer. This will allow them to charge up within 5 minutes, and then you're on your way again, which is brilliant. I have seen, if you go to the BYD website, there's plenty of information on here, but if you go down, I think there's a picture somewhere down here. So it reckons at peak speed it takes 1 second to give you 2 kilometers of range. Just absolutely fantastic. This has got to have Tesla quaking in their boots. Whether the UK infrastructure can actually support these, that's a different question. But yeah, it's potentially it's faster than filling up with petrol now, because they're just so quick. I'm just looking for a image. Yep. So some of these cars that I've seen coming out from BYD, they now have dual charging ports on them, because one charger can't deliver the power quickly enough that the car can accept. So they have to have 2 chargers plugged in, one on either side, in order to give it the power that it needs in order to charge the batteries up at the rate that they say it can. Just the BYD at the minute, they are just knocking it out of the park. They are with the Blade technology and now this Super E platform. It's just phenomenal. So absolutely amazing technology coming out of China there. And again, Donald Trump and his tariffs, he's done them no favors. He's just put them off, putting America off buying them because of the tariffs are too high. China basically saying, well, we don't need you. We will we'll just sell to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world are going, yeah, actually that sounds good to us. We want cheap EV cars with good solid technical background with BYD. They've got lots of technology within the vehicles. They're really, really nice cars, and they are super fast as well. Yes, Teslas are nice, but it's one brand, and that's it. And, say what you will about Elon, like him or hate him, but the cars themselves are actually pretty good. But they are a little bit overpriced, especially in the UK now, where we've got this new tax of luxury car of anything over £40,000 is now classified as luxury car. So there we have it. So that was a very quick roundup of this week's news. Next week I may not be here because I've got annual leave. I'm going away abroad, so I might not actually have an internet connection to do it. But I'll try it. I'll see. But if not, I'll be back the following week. And I just want to do another little shameless plug for myself. This is my main channel that I run. This is all about EV cars and technology and everything. But I do have a habit, and if you are the same age as me, late 40s ish, this website this YouTube channel might entice you a little bit as well. I'm growing it because it's something else for me to do as well as this one. I need to keep myself busy with an active mind. Anyway, it's my I Survived the 80s channel, and it's all about things that that kind of we did as kids, what we grew up with, how we survived, including 5 of the worst cars in the 80s. So anyway, if you're feeling old like me, and you want to go and have a look at another channel, please do so. It's I Survived the 80s. I'd love you to give it a like and a subscription as well. It's just something totally different to EVs, and it's something that I've got a vast knowledge in, as I grew up in the UK in the 1980s. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you would. It costs you nothing to do so, but it helps grow the channel, and it actually makes me quite appreciative as to your time in order to do so. So I will see you in the next video, and whilst you're here, why don't you just go and check out some of the other videos that I've done recently. I recently test drove a Kia Sportage hybrid, first hybrid I've driven. Go and find that video and see what I made of that vehicle. Would I be tempted to go to that one, because it was a very, very nice car. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.